This is WCPO 9 News.
Thanks for joining us for WCPO 9 News. I'm Lisa Smith. Here's a look at some of today's top stories. Today, Ohio Republican Congressman Brad Wenstrup assisted Tri-Health providers in distributing the COVID-19 vaccine. Wenstrup, a podiatrist who served as an Iraq War combat surgeon, has given shots at several clinics in his district, including twice in his role as an Army reservist. Tonight, police officers in Middletown are looking for the suspect behind a deadly bar shooting. It happened just after 2 this morning following a fight at the 513 Lounge on North Verity Parkway. Investigators say numerous shots had been fired in the bar's parking lot, with bullets hitting 3 people. One of those victims, 29-year-old Jerode Hill, died at the hospital. The other 2 victims are expected to survive. If you know anything about this shooting, call Middletown Police at 513-425-7700. And starting tomorrow, Elm Street will be closed between 5th and 6th Streets near the Duke Energy Convention Center as demolition work begins on the Millennium Hotel. The high-rise will be taken down piece by piece instead of imploded, since it's too close to other buildings. The road closure is expected to last for more than a year. Time now to get a check of the forecast, and Sherry Hughes is here, hopefully with a forecast that has a lot less wind. Sherry.
Yes, Lisa, the winds are going down tonight and the clouds are moving out, so we'll have some clear skies overnight with a low of 31. Your Monday looks good. It's seasonable. We're going to see sunshine for every day part and light winds. Temperatures will get into the upper 40s by noon, 58 for 4 p.m. And so a beautiful day. By Tuesday, though, warming up before some cool air arrives and some more rain on Wednesday. Opening day looks a bit chilly.
You would have seen runners and walkers in the thousands here lining up at 5th and Broadway on the start line for the Hart Mini Marathon. Of course, even though it was virtual this year, that didn't stop people from getting to the goal of raising $3 million. Now, the Hart Mini experience, it included an all-new race day app that allowed runners and walkers to do the events in the location of their choosing while simulating their location and placing them on the traditional Columbia Parkway course. It also had tips and challenges to eat smart, be well, and move more. In fact, we spoke to Ambassador for the Hart Mini Marathon, Amanda Valentine, who says she's been putting in her own work to keep her heart healthy after knowing firsthand the importance of it.
I have lost over 100 pounds, and I know what kind of strain that put on my heart and my own health. So I think that it's just really important to be aware of being heart healthy and making healthy diet decisions. With the virtual, I do like being able to, I had to work this morning, so I'm taking on my own time in the afternoon and creating my own route, and I can do it on Saturday, but maybe somebody can do it on Sunday, and I just feel like it gives you a lot of play.
Well, if you missed out on today, you can still help out. The American Heart Association is taking donations until May 1st. I'm Jasmine Miner reporting downtown, WCPO 9 News.
Streaming TV services are so popular these days that now almost all the Academy Award nominees are available to stream. So, which streaming service is best? Want to see the Oscar nominees? A half dozen of the biggest ones are on Netflix that racked up 35 Academy nominations. They include the late Chadwick Boseman's Ma Rainey, also Glenn Close's Hillbilly Elegy, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. A new survey by the cord-cutting website Flixt found the favorite streaming service is Netflix, with others not even close. 83% of people preferred Netflix, followed by Hulu at 51%, then newcomer Disney at 44%. Next was cable TV, followed by Apple Plus at the bottom. Peacock and Discovery were too new for the survey, and Amazon's not considered a full streaming service. And from the Doesn't That Stink file, the problem with Apple TV Plus. Flick says viewers gave it low marks for both its variety of programming and its user interface. And that stinks. The one good thing about Apple TV Plus, its price. Just $5 a month, or free if you buy a new iPhone or iPad, which makes it a great service if you're on a tight budget. So if you want a service with the most Oscar nominees, Netflix wins hands down, so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matters, WCPO 9 News.
As of today, 71% of individuals 65 and over have received at least one shot. That's important because seniors sadly account for 80% of COVID deaths.
As the vaccination numbers continue to rise, there's more good news regarding the storage of the Pfizer vaccine. The European Medicines Agency has new data which shows the Pfizer vaccine can be stored at normal freezer temperature for 2 weeks. The new storage option gives more flexibility with its distribution, as the Pfizer vaccine originally had to be stored in expensive ultra-cold freezers. Colorado prosecutors are still searching for why the shooting suspect killed 10 people at a grocery store on Monday. A Boulder district attorney says finding the motive is the focus of the investigation.
The victims' families and the community are desperate to know the motive. We want to know the motive, and that's going to be the focus of all our efforts going forward. Whether or not we're able to determine it remains to be seen.
21-year-old Alyssa is expected to face additional charges in the next couple of weeks. The district attorney says those will include attempted murder charges stemming from the gunfire exchange with responding officers. The storms that spawned tornadoes killing at least 5 in Alabama struck western Georgia on Friday. Firefighters went door to door in Noonan to do safety checks and to help with downed trees and assess structural damage. Tornado warning sirens went off, giving the city's 40,000 residents 15 to 20 minutes advance notice. At least one person died in Georgia.
Very catastrophic damage, just stuff that's unbelievable. I kind of think about this kind of stuff when you look out in the Midwest.
The new American Rescue Plan will help millions of Americans and businesses immediately, but economists say it won't help unemployment return to normal for years. We spoke with one who explains why it might take so long.
We are in a jobs hole that's on the order of 12 million jobs.
Where most labor economists might see numbers,
It's just enormous.
Heidi Shearholz sees people.
I see the real people's lives. It's not abstract.
I missed the first part because my son was making a lot of noise. Can you repeat that, please?
People like Stephanie Dudley, who now knows the loving struggle of a life as a full-time mom having lost her job last March.
I feel like they're at 11 of the average boy scale, if it were to go up to 10. Hi.
For the better part of the last year, they have been her reality.
What's it been like spending a lot of time with your mom when she's been at home?
I don't really know.
2 sons, ages 11 and 8, who provide distraction from the daily disappointment of not being able to find work.
I think overall it's sluggish.
Although unemployment right now is well below its April 2020 high, it is still nearly twice as high as pre-pandemic levels.
This will help so many people. It's just a sort of a groundbreaking package.
Heidi says the American Rescue Plan passed by Congress is imperative. She says those $1,400 checks will be a huge boost to people and the economy, but not necessarily unemployment, even though more loans are coming to businesses.
It takes more time, to have a business get formed, built, happen, hire people. So it's not going to happen overnight.
In its most recent report, the Congressional Budget Office said the U.S. economy would reach its pre-pandemic output by this summer, which is faster than expected, but says unemployment won't reach its pre-pandemic level until the year 2024.
We know that things will be improving by then, but we are still going to have a big jobs hole on September 6th. There won't be enough jobs to go around by then.
It's why Heidi wishes the unemployment benefits were extended longer in the plan, knowing this issue will be around to stay.
I'm not really playing a game or anything, even though there's a Switch right here.
Even if it has given some parents the opportunity to mom like never before.
But together they can be pretty rowdy, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I'm Dan Grossman reporting.
A new study shows almost half of healthcare workers across the country are still not vaccinated against COVID-19. Medical experts say those numbers are concerning for many reasons.
What about you? Do you know people who didn't get vaccinated?
I do.
Despite being a frontline healthcare worker during the COVID-19 crisis,
it's been a challenge working long shifts here.
Registered nurse Deborah Torres was concerned about getting vaccinated for the virus.
I wanted to see how my other coworkers that were getting vaccinated, how they did.
She waited a month after it became available. Then Torres got the Moderna shot. She says it caused all kinds of physical side effects.
I got the chills, nausea, dizziness, I had a fever, and I was very fatigued, and that lasted for an entire day.
Torres works at a major hospital in Southern California.
I know people who get bad reactions when they get the flu shot, and so they don't want to get the COVID shot.
Or many of her coworkers are still reluctant to get vaccinated.
It's not that they're anti-vaccine, it's just that they're hesitant right now because it's new.
A new study by the Kaiser Family Foundation in partnership with the Washington Post found 48% of frontline healthcare workers, nearly half, are unvaccinated, which is concerning for some medical experts.
So it's also a patient safety issue. If you get vaccinated, you're much less likely to give COVID in the workplace.
Dr. William Schaffner is an infectious disease specialist with Vanderbilt University Medical Center and a consultant for the CDC. He understands the concerns healthcare workers have about getting vaccinated, but says when they don't, it could increase transmission rates and also impact others' decisions.
If the nurses don't get vaccinated and people ask them and they discover that the nurses are wary, of course, because nurses are trusted, the neighbors and friends will be wary of getting vaccinated also.
While Torres did get vaccinated, she still supports her coworkers that haven't,
I don't have any judgment towards them, and I don't think any different from them.
saying it's normal to be nervous about something new.
I think a lot of people, for the most part, it's a safety issue.
Even when working the front lines of a pandemic.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, it's your choice. It's your free will to do that.
I'm Kai Peach reporting.
As we process a pandemic and the shootings in Atlanta and Boulder, it's okay to feel stressed and anxious. Health experts explain what we're experiencing and what we can do to help. Time and time again, we see mass shootings send a ripple effect through our communities, causing fear, sadness, and a mix of other emotions. The recent shootings in Boulder, Colorado at a grocery store killing 10 and in Atlanta at massage parlors killing 8 can be difficult to digest.
When something like this happens, everything gets turned on its head. I almost think of it like a balance. I feel completely safe. I feel like if I go outside, my life will be in horrible danger. It kind of shifts the balance over towards that fear side of things.
Dr. Joseph Soche is a psychiatrist. He says this just compounds with the emotions we've already been feeling throughout the pandemic.
During COVID, anxiety was up, depression was up. People that were predisposed to have paranoid thinking had more paranoid thinking. Once you're kind of primed to be afraid, you can be more afraid.
Health experts say we were already dealing with this flux of anxiety and stress.
It's almost like we're already set to be sensitive because we've been dealing with so much stress over the past year. There are two types of stress. There are those things that we can get control over, and there are those types of stress that we have no control over, right? Like a mass shooting. Like, when's the next one going to happen? Well, nobody knows.
But there are processes we can think through to help ourselves and others.
The best thing that you can do when you're feeling stressed is just to say, I'm stressed. Like, just own it. Our fight or flight response is in the amygdala part of the brain. And when we acknowledge that we're stressed, it actually goes to our frontal lobes where we problem solve. And then you can kind of unpack it. It's like, what am I stressed about? You know, what am I worried about? And then you can look at, is this something I can get control over?
Dr. Carl Clark, president of the Mental Health Center of Denver, says from here, you're able to get your stress levels down. Another tactic, he says, is to pick a time of day to be stressed.
What it does, though, is it allows you not to be stressed 24/7.
And finally, focus on self-soothing techniques.
One of the basic ways to self-soothe is repetitive rhythmic motion, dancing, running, physical activity, meditation. There's all kinds of things that people can do.
As we've been told repeatedly over the past year to physically distance from one another, both Dr. Clark and Dr. Sauché want to remind everyone that connection and the ability to talk things out with others is crucial.
It's about talking to people and making sure you feel connected. There's no medication that I can prescribe or any therapy I can recommend that will give people a sense of closeness to others that we need.
And so whatever your reaction is, that's it. It's okay. Being able to talk about it, though, is very helpful.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Some employees of Darden restaurants are getting a raise. Darden owns several major chains, including Olive Garden, Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, and Longhorn Steakhouse. The company says its hourly employees will be taking home at least $10 an hour, including tips, starting next week. That will increase to $11 next year and to $12 in 2023. The change will affect about 20% of workers. With hopes the travel industry is going to bounce back to pre-pandemic levels, JetBlue has launched a new travel site. The new JetBlue travel site provides hotels, car rentals, and activities personalized based on your flight info. Customers using the site will earn TrueBlue frequent flyer points that they can redeem for other travel rewards. One selling point for the travel site is that JetBlue claims its award-winning customer service people will be available to troubleshoot or answer any questions.
Hello everyone, I'm 9 First Warning meteorologist Sherry Hughes. We had some chilly temperatures today. We started in the 60s after midnight, but temperatures fell into the 40s during the afternoon, and the winds have been gusting into the 30s. I think the highest gust I saw was about 37 miles an hour. Well, the good news, the winds are going to decrease as we go into the overnight, and certainly as we go into tomorrow or your Monday, we'll get the winds out of the west and also mainly a little bit of a southerly flow by Tuesday, but winds will die down to about 5 to 10 mile an hour for your Monday into Tuesday. Tuesday, though, it's going to go back up again. Here's the way it looks for this evening. We've had the clouds as well. Clouds will disperse. We will gradually see mostly clear skies in the overnight hour. By about 2, we're at 34. I think we'll bottom out around 31 degrees. Then as you get up in the morning, we see those temperatures go back from 30s to 40s at noon, and then 50s, which are seasonal temperatures during the afternoon. And notice every day part has sunshine and lighter winds out there. So it's a pretty good start to the week, but we're going to have a good bit of temperature swings as we go through the week. Look at Tuesday, 68 degrees. Wednesday, our next chance of rain, and temperatures down to the 40s. Behind that cold front, opening day for the Reds will be a chilly one, and we'll have breezy conditions, which means that 40-degree temperature will likely feel like the 30s. But we have mostly a dry week with the exception of Wednesday's rain.
At the beginning of the pandemic, Alex Lucas says he got COVID-19. When he got better, some symptoms didn't go away.
Probably for a good month, I was like a zombie.
He could only walk for a few minutes on the treadmill due to breathing problems.
I couldn't think straight. Every joint hurt, every muscle hurt, everything hurt.
On top of his long-haul symptoms, work has been slow, and his dad passed away after battling COVID-19.
And it was a rough year.
Last week, he got his first Pfizer shot, and miraculously, his chronic symptoms vanished.
It changed, and I'm actually like smiling again.
Dr. David Aronoff at Vanderbilt says it's hard for them to know whether it's the vaccine that caused this to happen or it was just by chance.
We are definitely hearing stories similar to that from around the world.
Dr. Aronoff says around 1/3 of patients with long-haul syndrome from COVID-19 are reporting their ailments disappeared after getting vaccinated.
And what we don't know is if those people, that roughly 1/3, were going to improve anyways over that period of time. And it just was coincidental with getting the vaccine.
Meanwhile, Alex says he feels like he got 10 years back on his life.
The wedding industry is slowly bouncing back with trends that could be around for years. Engaged couples are committed to tying the knot with new perspective on what it means to get married.
They care more about the ceremony and the reason behind getting married.
According to Brides.com, 2021 weddings will be all about intimacy. Expect a lot of weekday and backyard weddings, unexpected venues and micro weddings, or weddings with fewer than 50 guests. Stephanie Singleton recently opened a micro chapel that accommodates about 10 people.
If you want to invest a lot of money, you can do that, but you're starting to water down the whole purpose when you get into having to have all of the frills and the thrills of all the extra celebration parts of the marriage.
Despite all the changes to weddings this past year, bridal industry experts say the dress is still a priority.
I think that brides still want to feel like a bride at the end of the day, whether it's a micro wedding or a large church wedding or a backyard wedding.